Welcome, everybody. John Zegar, johnzegar.com. How's everybody doing today? Good? Good. Anybody up and awake yet? Probably not. It's dark 30 here on the eastern slope. That means not even the hint of light is up in the sky. I look up and it's black as black can be. So I guess it's getting lighter later, much later. What's it say? It actually does say 5:56, but it seems like 2 a.m. There's very little traffic. A car here, maybe an occasional car way over there. Some lady with lights on like an airplane. You know, where the let's see, let me get it right. The left side is green, the right side is red. And then there's a strobe light on an airplane. Well, excuse me. She has figured out how to get the red, the green, the strobe pasted onto her shoulders and sort of head, I guess, like an airplane. So when she runs out in the street, I've seen her running before. This isn't the first time. But she runs when it's like this, in the middle of the night. She's not a young girl by any chance. Sort of an attractive woman. As near as I can tell in the dark, with no light. And she runs this time of the night. Time-wise, I guess it's no different than summer. You know, a lot of people run at between 5 and 6 in the summer. In the morning is not uncommon. But it doesn't really fit for, this is fall. Getting nearer to early winter. I mean, it could snow any time right now. It doesn't feel anywhere close to that, but I don't know. I guess run right now until the snow comes in, and then you'll probably have to back off. I'm on my second cup of coffee. My first cup I got at midnight, maybe 11:30, 12 o'clock. And of course, I drank that while doing some writing early before I fell asleep. And I just got this cup 15 minutes ago, maybe. It's a little, it's called a senior or a small. And I think these are only 80 cents, which they all should be, actually. I'm anxious to go down to the town just south of here, 7 miles, and probably get coffee there because it was so good yesterday. But you know what I have a taste for? Hash browns. I don't ever. I like hash browns. I've eaten hash browns my whole life, but it's not a staple. It's not a regular diet. But this morning, boy, I just keep flashing on getting a hash brown. When I went in to get this coffee, she just picked up 8 of them and put them in a sack. And I almost said, well, I'll have one with a cup of coffee. But I said, well, how much? And she said, $2.39. Well, you guys know me, I'm too cheap to spend $2.39 for a, it's about the size of the back of your hand, a patty of hash browns. If I go down to the next town, I don't know if I can resist not ordering one. And if I order one, then I'm going to be upset because I would want another one, and for hell or high water, I wouldn't pay that a second time. I've been kind of sitting here a little bit thinking about how expensive stuff is. Stuff is really expensive. Just food. Gas, I'm out of gas right now. I got enough to get over to, it might be a mile. Maybe a mile and a quarter from here. They have gas over there for, are you ready for this? This is cheap. $3.39. And about a half a mile from here, they have it for $3.49. And of course, I won't pay the $3.49 when I could drive another mile and get it for $3.39. It doesn't make any difference. I watch how much gas you really get when there's a dime difference. There's actually no difference. It's all the same amount. I think someday they'll come up with the corruption in the gas industry. It just is too... It's not supposed to be as... it can change radically from day to day. And then you ask yourself, why is that? Why does it do that? There isn't anything going on in the world that would cause it to fluctuate that much in such a short 24-hour period. But, we're not in control. I don't know how to say it, but you know how you've heard me rant and rave about we just need to get rid of the police and the sheriff's department and fire department and defund all them bastards. I just think there's a lot of corruption in the legal system. I think all those, what would you call them? All them police and sheriff and courts and judges and attorneys, and I think they're all corrupt, and they can somehow convict with no evidence or witnesses. I just think that's a fact. Likewise, what I was leading up to anyway is politicians. This one's going to be as ridiculous as the one I just said, but I mean, you need to have people fight fires about your house and all that. But here's this one's pretty ridiculous too. We ought to defund politicians. I have no use for politicians. I have none. I have no use for politicians. I mean, there's people in the United States that actually voted for Biden. So we know that insanity is prevalent in America. I mean, there's no reason that old man who is mentally incompetent should have any position in government. You understand what I'm saying? America needs to be defunded. And we need to go back to Americans running the show, running the country. Now, I'm old, right? But way back when, our country was run by the people of the country. You know, it was the guy who lives down the block was the mayor, was on the city council. Some lady was committed to being a politician. She wanted to voice her opinion about how kids need to have their education and be raised properly. And I mean, they never talked about this, of which they would have way back when, but a little kid should not even have the thought of, am I male or female? I mean, I'm not even going to go there. It's too early in the morning for that conversation. But the country used to be run just by people. They really didn't want to be a politician for the rest of their life. They had no interest in that. They didn't mind getting and being in public office so they could propagate, what's good for Americans. That's fine. I get that. But then after they served what they felt was good for the country, in their opinion, then they were willing to go home and be mom or be dad and go to work, and they didn't have to be anybody. So I think we should defund them too. The politicians that we have today, ruling, not governing, but ruling the country. There's getting to be a few more cars on this street. I said to myself, as soon as, they used to say the crack of dawn, but that would be 2 hours from now. But as soon as this black turns lighter black, I'm going to head south and go down there and probably buy a hash brown. Just because something about that today, I just have a taste for a hash brown. You can see the planes coming in. DIA is south of here, about 50 miles. But they start getting in their flight paths out about this far, and you can see them heading towards DIA. I remember when I used to fly and travel and do business and whatnot, you always would have, and I never could figure this out, but you would get a morning landing somewhere in the United States or the world, wherever you were going. I don't know how they worked that out, but you never landed anywhere when it was night. But when it was just coming light, so that you could get yourself to your morning meeting in the daylight. Or your vacation would start not in the dark, but in the nice sun coming up. So anyway, I just am sitting here and I'm looking out the window, and you can see the planes sort of getting in flight, final, to land over at DIA. So I would suspect that means we're going to see a lighter sky here pretty shortly. There's traffic. There's a parking lot behind me. And there's a strip mall over to the left, north of me. And there's cars coming up this street. And they're either turning into the parking lot or they're going north to the mall's area. It's a large mall. And they turn in there because these are the workers that are getting the stores ready to have the customers come later today. So they have to get there by, well, this is probably 6-ish. So they come in early enough to open the doors and get everything ready for the day. But it's almost like one car every, 3 or 4 minutes now. So I don't know. My earbuds don't really work anymore. They were marginal when I bought them. Everything Apple, but it also means that everything Apple can fall apart or become non-functional. Some of these cars coming out of these places are suspicious. It's like, why would they be back there coming out onto the street at this hour of the day, morning? Unless they were just homeless people in cars parked back there thinking they would get out, before it even got thinking about light. Don't know. But it's always suspicious to watch people. Wonder, why would they do something out of the ordinary? Yeah, the lights of the cars coming up from the main street down below. This is another car coming up. That's about 3 minutes from the one previous. And it'll be another 3 minutes and we'll get another car up here. My coffee's about done. And it's cooled down enough to where, I'm getting a little smarter. Not in the things you need to be smart about, but there's little practical matters. A few days ago, I always order a large coffee, right? I don't know, I think people generally will order, a large coffee. And I've always done that. More recently, they have a middle size, middle. It's not large and it's not a little one. And it seems, here comes another car up the road. See, that's about 3 minutes apart. Yeah. Yeah, it's about 3 minutes apart. So we'll see how long until the next one shows up. But I ordered a medium cup of coffee. It's only 20 cents difference from a large, right? But here's the deal. The last third of the cup of large coffee gets cold. And when it cools off, it's not the same flavor you get as with a large cup of coffee. You ever notice that when you order a large coffee, hot, fresh, it's got a flavor to it. Whatever the flavor is, Colombian or I have no idea, but I like that. I like that a lot. I mean, if it's so hot you can't drink it, then I don't know, that kind of defeats the whole purpose, but mostly they're good. But when I ordered a medium cup of coffee, I just about got it completed before it cooled way down to where it's lost its flavor. You know what I mean? And now, I've done this twice. This is they call it a senior coffee or a small. And it's just another 20 cents less, to get this one. And here I am. I'm at the bottom. And it's not cold. It's just, you probably wouldn't want to have a cup of this temperature coffee because it's getting to be bland. Like if I was standing outside of my truck right now, I would just take my hand and swing the cup to get all the coffee out of it, whatever's left at the bottom. Because there's probably a little dab in the bottom that I'll drink in here inside the truck. But again, like I said, if I was outside, or if I even had the energy to sit up, roll down the window, I would just toss this little dab of coffee out. So I'm getting smarter in the sense of, why do I have to order a large coffee every time until I die, Why do I have to do that? Why don't I order one that would be, I don't know, more appropriate? Like if I head south here, let's see, the sky is still black as black can be. But pretty soon when I head south 7 miles to that little coffee place to get my hash browns and coffee, I'm probably going to order just I'll get a decaf, but cup of, cup of coffee. I'll get a small senior cup. What do they charge for that? 80 or 81 cents, I guess. Sure don't need a large. Even a medium would not be, it wouldn't work at all. So, we got 1, 2, 3 cars just came by. What's going on here? My phone. I must have touched something. The effects. I don't know what that means. Anyhow, I guess I've been blabbing enough. I decided that a little while ago, before I started, that I didn't have any agenda to talk about. Here comes another car up the hill. So I guess we're getting pretty close to a regular stream of traffic, but I guess I didn't have anything. And sometimes I think, well, that may not be a good thing. But then, on the other hand, isn't it nice to not have anything? An issue. A topic. I think I'm going to shut off the podcast with my blabbing and ruminating about a bunch of nothing. Here comes another car up the hill. And just sit back and enjoy, I don't know, maybe the next 15 minutes before I take off again. So anyway, God bless everybody. Take care of one another, and I'll look forward to talking to you all again real soon. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye.